Bentley in studio today. Bentley Caldwell, local national music artist. The first 30 minutes of every show, when we got a guest on here, we talk about what's going on in your world and kind of let the world learn a little bit about you. Tell us like the background. Like, when did you get here? How long you lived here? How things have been going since you got here? Like, learn us a little bit about Bentley.
Oh man, let's see. I've been in Nashville going on about 7 years now.
Okay.
And retail actually brought me to Nashville. So I'm from a small Kentucky town, Paducah, Kentucky. What up? Anyway,
yeah, we got a huge fan base in Paducah.
Dude, huge.
Yeah,
I know, all 5 of us.
Zach's got the key to the city, actually. But anyway, anyways,
I knew that's where I'd seen you.
I saved the mayor that one time. Yeah, it was weird.
Okay, so Paducah you came down from Paducah. You said for fashion,
for retail.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish it was fashion. Like,
okay.
That makes it sound so much cooler. I was.
No one's fashionable. In
I know, right?
I'm trying to church you up a little bit.
I know, right?
Like,
No, it was Hollister. I was a assistant manager for Hollister and Abercrombie and Fitch, and they transferred me to Nashville to work at one of the stores, and it was a mess. It was like the worst. It was so bad. Man.
You inherited a problem, is what you're saying.
Oh man, that would have been a small way of putting it, but yeah. So I got here and it was just a mess. It was at Rivergate Mall, and
Rivergate's had some rough times.
Yeah, and this was while like Opry Mills was closed. And so everybody, it was either Rivergate or like Cool Springs. And so everybody came to Rivergate, and it was a mess, like an absolute mess. So
did you play music did you sing and play music when you got here?
I mean, like, I had played music in Paducah, but I was like, it's Paducah, like, I'm trying to get out.
Anybody can play music in Paducah.
Right? Yeah. And so I got here and I was like, no, I'm gonna focus on my retail career and like get a store and then like
the
I got here.
Nashville story,
right? Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And then like the store was a shit show, and it was just like, okay, I'm done. And so I just went back to like my love of music, and I was kind of doing like a tag team with like retail and music. So and then
to back up your story, as you walked in, like, what do you mean? Like, you're a really well dressed dude. You got a nice watch on. Like, you look very fashionable. You look like someone who has the skills to work at a Hollister. Whereas I don't think
I'm wearing a tank top with a cardigan.
Yeah, that's true. I just not realized that you're wearing a tank top underneath. You can see a little bit of your chest hair. I didn't notice that until now. I've never done it,
and I was like, "This is who I am today."
I was like, "Oh,
just in case you go from really cold to really hot like just that, you can just your cardigan on."
That Tennessee weather, man, it is. We got snow coming this week. I need to be prepared.
And it was 80 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, right.
All right. So how did you get from managing Hollister to like, wow, dude, I can push this music career? Like, this is actual a thing now.
It just kind of, I don't want to say I fell into it, but like, basically, I was playing these shows, and people were like, man, like, you're actually like pretty good. And I was like, okay, cool, and but it's funny, like, my first ever like Nashville show, I played a writer's round at Mad Donna's, which is no longer a thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of my words from memory, so it was all like in a notebook. And so I'm sitting up there playing, and I have the words right there in front of me, and I forget the words. And I had a meltdown on stage. I was like, how do I forget the words? And everybody's looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with this kid? And like, I'm on stage with like these two like old head like writers, and they're like, oh man, like, you got it, just keep on, keep going. And then like a few years later, I realized, like, you don't do that. Like, you don't have meltdowns on stage.
That was your first ever show.
That was literally my first ever show. And
wow.
I was just like, and it was so funny. Some girl in the crowd, like, I finished like one song, and it was going back to the other person. This girl walks up to the stage. She's like, hey, you might want to like tune next time.
Oh, God. Shit.
So I was like, oh.
Okay. Oh. So then we buried a body like a couple days later. Good grief.
It was so bad.
Wow.
But
don't you love when people ease and like they're trying to be nice and they say the meanest thing possible?
She was just like,
like they walk in and they're like,
trying to be helpful.
Hey, just so you know, you should not wear a tank top with a cardigan. Just so you know.
Can't stop, won't stop.
So you somehow got through that first performance.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess maybe thought it can't get any worse.
Talk
right?
about a Cinderella story right,
I mean,
there.
right. The comeback. Everybody
Most
wants
people,
the comeback.
I'm never playing music again. That's the sign right there.
I gave it my best shot.
I know.
I did. Yeah,
I did my best.
I did my best.
I did my best.
And then she comes up and she goes, if that's your
Actually,
best,
no,
that's sad.
But
Your best isn't even in tune.
I know, right? Yeah. So yeah, basically, my voice was what gave me merit. They're
They
like,
give
no,
you
good.
pass on the lyrics and the songs.
Yeah,
like,
they're like, no,
Dude
he's
can
like,
sing. Dude can sing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he can sing. There's like talent there. He's just like, just fucking raw as hell, So
Someone needs to mama bear
I
the
know,
shit
right?
out of him.
You're right.
From there, flash forward. How did you get to where now? Because you've got the album out. What's the name of the album?
Oh yeah, I just released a new album called "The Place That I Call Home." I released it in January, and basically what ended up happening is actually kind of like my VH1 behind the music.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I was playing all these shows, and what was happening was like people were like, oh man, like you're really good. Hey, do you have an album? And I was like,
I'm still trying to tune my guitar, actually.
right. I just want to get a guitar that's more than $200, And so I was like, all right, like I should probably like start recording something, and basically like, I was kind of like pussyfooting around, just like, oh well, I'll get around to it, and then my mom actually passed away. And it was like one of those things where I had like this like aha moment, like, okay, like dude, like if you're gonna do this, then you need to like really fucking do this and like quit playing around and like go for it. And so basically she passed away 5 years ago. Yeah, it'll be 5 years ago this April actually. And so that year, like she passed away in April, and then I think I started recording my first EP in November, and it was called "A Place to Be," and I was just like, let's just do it, and I borrowed like $250 from like one of my friends just to kind of like get it started, and then and we recorded it for like $500 and like.
The song, the album now, these like $500.
No,
I was gonna say this one sounds great for $500.
I wish. No, my first EP. My first EP
gotcha.
was like a 6-song acoustic EP
Gotcha.
that recorded in like the sanctuary of a church in Donaldson.
Okay.
Nice.
But it was like that was like the big like I said, the big aha moment, because I released it on what would have been her 50th birthday, and so it was just kind of like, okay, like now I have a tangible thing.
Yeah.
And then like my career just like took off, because it was like I could play shows and then people would buy the album, or they could get it on iTunes and Google Play and all that stuff. And then it was like I had a voice out there that wasn't just my own. And then the lifestyle of the musician kind of took over, where I was just playing all these shows and just really just hustling, and then like I said, it's like VH1 behind the music. And then like I was homeless for like a year and a half, like literally like.
Wow, the story is such ups and downs, like
right. I mean, seriously,
like
right?
really funny story. And then my mom passed away. And you're like, oh no!
I know,
and
right?
then you're like, but
Silver
then my
lining.
career took off,
Yeah.
and you're like, yay! And you're like, but then I was homeless. You're like, oh no!
I know, right? Like in my mind, I'm like, man, this is gonna be a downer, bro. like, do you really want to know?
It's the same when I tell my story, man. It's okay. Keep it going.
It's oddly similar to the exact
And then
same
I put
story.
this cardigan on with this tank
you're
top,
right.
and I was
You
like,
get to the point where you say, fuck it. That's just who I am now.
right.
I'm just happy to have a roof over my head. That's all that matters. So you ended up homeless. Back to the story.
Yeah. So like I lived in my car for like almost a year and a half.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Were you playing music at the same time?
Yeah, well, I was kind of telling you guys before we got on the air, like I was working at Belmont in their like bookstore, and I was living in Hermitage, and this was like right as like Nashville was starting to grow, and so like rent was getting like outrageous, and so I was living in Hermitage, and it was taking like almost like an hour to get to Belmont, for work, and I was getting late. I was being late for work and stuff like that, and so they were like, if you're late again, like we're gonna fire you. And I was like, and so I was trying to find places closer to Belmont, and it was just gonna be like $900 for a 1-bedroom, and I was just like, I cannot afford that, And so I basically like crashed on some couches for a while until I could find something. And then nothing really like manifested itself. And it was like, well, I still have a job. I'm still playing music. I just don't have a place to live. So it was just like, well.
2 for 3 is not bad.
I know, right. Yeah,
was there ever a moment up to the story thus far where you're like, you know what, Hollister wasn't that bad?
No.
Never even crossed your mind. That's
was never.
So you were literally homeless, and you thought, fuck it, I'm glad I didn't stay at Hollister.
Have you worked retail before?
I've never done it.
That's why.
That's
exactly what. Yeah, I've done
retail is like the fucking worst.
It's not fun.
It is not fun.
There's a reason I was a server for 10 years because I said, fuck retail.
That's what I'm saying,
I'd rather serve
exactly.
tables.
If you'd rather be homeless and serving
Yeah, that's true.
than work retail.
That's true. You guys, now that I think of it, you guys had it pretty rough. So I'm trying to stay on track of the story. You're homeless. You've got your job. You're like, you know what? I've got a job. That's all that really matters. I'm playing music. I got my job.
That's literally what I was thinking of. So I just basically put all my stuff in like a storage unit, and I was like, all right, like, you know, and I was still kind of working like part time at the YMCA, so I would literally like go take showers at the YMCA and get to work.
That was my next question: is where are you showering stuff at?
Yeah.
The YMCA was perfect.
Yeah. So I would like go to like Green Hills Y.
You had the biggest bathroom of all your friends.
Oh, dude, right? Just all the old naked white men, basically.
When I signed up,
It's got a lot more dick than you thought.
when I signed up for the Y downtown a couple months ago when we first moved here, I moved to this part of town. I was signing up, and I overheard one of the guys talking to the workers, talking to the worker, and he was like, "Yeah, there's a bunch of old dudes hitting on each other in the bathroom right now." And I was just like, dude, as I'm filling out my application to get in, I'm like, man, come on, this is my life. I got questions about the YMCA now that you work there, but we'll get there in a second. So
we'll
you're working there, you're showering at the Y, you live in your car.
Yeah, and then I actually got fired from Belmont, right?
Worse.
Yeah,
It's got worse.
right. And
You can't see because it's a radio show, it's a podcast, and whatnot. Zach went to take a drink of his cup, and then he said that you got fired, and like emotionally, Zach just set the cup back down.
I feel for you, man.
It was literally, I saw it in your eyes. You were like, fuck,
this keeps getting worse.
I want the redemption.
And he's gonna be like, yeah, and then now I'm here, and Zach's like, no, there's no positive. There's no positive.
That's not good enough. You're so much cooler than this.
All right.
So anyway, and then like I had a choice to make, you know, like it was like either go home, go back to Paducah, or like just ride it out, you know. And it was like music was still going great, like I was still getting all these shows and stuff, but I just like didn't have a job, and didn't have anywhere to live, you know. And it was like, I knew if I went back to Paducah, nothing against Paducah, like I love Paducah. Paducah's my hometown now, but I knew that if I went back to Paducah, like it all stopped, you know, like it all would end.
The career would come to a halt.
Yeah, and then it would be just like a pain trying to get back here, you know. And so I was like, you know what, like we'll just fucking ride it out, you know. And it was crazy, but like if I had to do it over again, I would do it the same way.
You would do it again?
Yeah, I would totally do it again. I mean,
were you dating anybody at this time? Were you single at this time? What's going on?
So that's the crazy thing. Like, I was definitely like trying to date, and then I was like, and then I kept thinking, like, what the hell are you gonna do? Like,
Where are you
hey,
gonna
girl,
take them?
Hey, girl, come to my back seat, and we can watch this movie on my phone.
I got HBO Go,
right?
I got Netflix, I got
Like,
Hulu, whatever
girl,
you want.
Yeah, what you want to do?
It's a 6-inch screen,
But
but
it's
all right.
only
Yeah,
going
right?
to be half a movie because I'm out of data.
We got to watch it in the Taco Bell parking lot to get on their Wi-Fi.
I know, right? I'm like, oh no, I got the storage unit, girl. If you want
Yeah.
I like my bed is already in there, so I mean, like, we just
If
put
it goes
that bitch on
well,
the floor,
yeah.
and just leave it cracked a little bit, so some like light.
Yeah. So we don't die of oxygen.
I know, right? So we don't die, you know.
But like,
I don't know if you've ever had sex in a storage center. That's some wild sex. That's no.
I was like, well, wait a minute. Your story is way better than my story.
Bentley's like, yeah, I pretty much lived in one, but I didn't have sex. What are you?
Like, what are you? Why you gotta one up me, dog?
You fuck somebody in my house, you piece of shit. In my house.
In my house. In my home.
So you were Did you go on any dates at this time? I know this is part of the story.
Did.
We're gonna get to the redemption
I know,
part.
right?
Yeah, we're mid story right now.
This was the redemption part.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
No, yeah. Actually, like, yeah, because like Tinder was kind of becoming like a thing, you know. So I was like, oh, like I can still like go hang out and just like I don't know. So I tried dating, and for good reason, it didn't. Nothing worked out.
Didn't pan out.
Like, yeah, because it's like what am I going to tell these girls?
You at least have to have a van.
yeah.
If you're living homeless, you have to have that van. If it's just a car,
Well, you scaled
Dead to
that down
rights.
really
Yeah.
well,
That
actually.
was
Yeah.
nice. That was
But the way I'm looking at it is, you could have maybe found someone to sleep at their bed during the at that night. Like if things went well with the girl, you slept in a bed that night. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like.
Do you want? She's like, do you want to stay over? Is that
Yo,
too much? And like,
girl,
yeah.
I just want to cuddle.
I know, right? Like,
I just want to cuddle. I just want a warm
you
place
just
to
accidentally fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh damn.
So that was
It's like,
so
well, do you
such
wanna
a good movie. I
Do
just
you want to
passed
stay
out.
here? Like, oh really? If it's not too much,
If
I
it's
don't want to
not-
put you out.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to move too fast for you, but I'm really emotionally involved in this, so I'll just stay here.
I'll
tonight.
sleep on the couch if you want me to. That's no big
I
deal.
respect you as a
Right.
woman, absolutely. So yeah. So you're living in your car. You're not really dating much.
Yeah, no, and I actually ended up like I played a wedding, one of my friends' weddings, and ended up meeting like one of the bridesmaids. Her and I hit it off or whatever, and she was like, "Hey, like I'm getting ready to move to Nashville. I got this job, da 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 da." And jokingly, I said, "Hey, well then I'm moving in with you, whatever." And she was like, "Okay, I need a roommate," and I was like, "Oh," and so. Yeah, and then I basically like kind of told her my story, and she was just like, so she like let me live there for like a year until
Wow.
like no rent, and until I could get everything back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah, like she's.
So when you make
solid.
it big, like she's got to get a cut, right? I mean, she played a vital part in this.
I'll give her a high five. No,
Okay. Wow.
I'm joking.
Brutal.
That's high praise.
Brutal.
No, she'll get a fist bump at least.
She'll get a, she'll get a song out of
Get a
it.
fist bump. Yeah, she'll get like a song, maybe mention a credit on an album or something like that, a name drop, something
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, but, hey, great.
Your first award show, you could like take her as your date or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be
But
cool.
don't thank her.
well,
Thank
my-
everyone else.
Oh, you want an award
my
at my darkest times, and then just leave her out of it. Yeah, she's sitting right there.
You're like my manager, my label,
And who could forget?
and then,
Yeah.
Could forget
Who
when,
could forget?
when night was its darkest.
I had nowhere else to go. My fans.
All of you who came out continue to listen.
I was metaphorically homeless, and then my fans found me, and
they
now
found me.
they let me live with them for like
Put
a
me
year,
up for a year.
emotionally and physically. So you moved in with her. Things are. I'm assuming, does that help like level things out? So
Yeah, I
so
mean,
you can get
like
things
it
rolling?
was still kind of like kind of rough a little bit, but I mean, it definitely helped. And I mean, like she's, like we actually we don't live together anymore, but like in that moment in my life, like I was so grateful for her because
Yeah.
she really did. Like she threw me like a legit like bone, man.
Yeah, she did. Like literally helping another human get back in life. At that point,
Yeah. And so no, I really do appreciate her and her friendship. And I was just kind of like bullshitting on the on the no
On the no thing, yeah.
on the thing. But no, she's good people.
Oh no,
man,
we've
so.
already like clipped that, and we sent a clip to her. Yeah, so
We're very
Like,
fast.
you
yeah. So and then how does that get from there? Things are turning around to the album that you just dropped now.
So again, like music has always been a constant, and so basically like I felt like it was like a rebirth, and so I started playing with some guys because I was a solo artist all the way up until that point. And then I met some different musicians and started kind of like a little band. We were called Bentley and the Hustle, and we're like a little 4-piece. And we just started it was such a good sound. We started kicking ass, man. And so it got to the point where I was like, it's time, because this had kind of taken. This was probably like 2 or 3 years after the initial EP. And it was just like, man, like the sound is great. Like people are really digging it, and I was just like, it's time to record a new album. And then I quit playing with that band, and I was just like, okay, I just need a break, And so I took like a 4 or 5 month long like break from music. Like I literally did not play music. I got a job working in a factory.
Wow.
An industrial construction factory. I was like driving like a forklift and like a cherry picker and shit, you know. And I remember like the last show I played, I literally just put my guitar in the case and then put the case in the closet. And,
Wow.
And I was just like, all right, we're done with music, because I had given so much over those 3 years, you know, being homeless and dealing with all of that, and you know, working odd and in and out jobs, trying to just like make ends meet and make, you know, pay for my storage unit, you know, just like literally scraping by, you know. And it's like that takes a toll on you, like physically, emotionally, and like mentally, where you're just like, I need to like take care of myself, you know. And so, yeah, I ended up just like putting my case in the closet and just kind of like walked away for a little bit. And it was funny because like I ended up getting like a little like side, like a little gig for like a Christmas thing. And this guy was like, "Hey man, can you come and like play 3 songs for my little get together I'm having?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, totally, yeah, you know." And so, I mean, like I get dressed and I you know, I get ready to go, and I'm walking out to my car, and you know, you do like the check, like, oh, keys, wallet, cell phone, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, my guitar. Yeah. Because I hadn't like really been a musician, you know, so I was like, oh, my guitar, you know. So I go back into the house, get my guitar, I get to the place, and I just like look at my case, and I'm like, I literally haven't opened this guitar case in like 3 months. I was like, I don't even know what
how out of tune it is. You
right?
Know what I'm saying? Yeah. No
and
idea.
I'm like, what state did I leave this guitar in the last time? You know, so I'm like, okay, well, there's still 6 strings. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's a start.
That's good enough. Well, we're good to go. You know, and so like I got through that little set, and I will say like not being a musician for that time period was probably the best thing for my career. You know,
wow.
Like it really was.
Like a phoenix from the ashes, you have risen.
I mean,
again.
I have risen.
Between the two of you, it's fun to hear you guys go down rabbit holes, because like you make a joke and he does a sound effect for your joke.
Dude,
it's pretty impressive.
I mean, I'm coming back for every show.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Literally, we'll see you just through the window making sound effects as that makes a joke.
Just like,
guys, I'm out here.
Seth was talking about wanting
I
a
know, right?
stalker.
I am
That's true.
your stalker now.
You know what I had in mind, but
he wanted
beggars
to try
can't
to
be
I mean,
choosers.
you
Yeah.
said you wanted a good-looking stalker.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
And a humble one too.
I mean, hey.
So you get through. We're gonna play one of your songs about 5 minutes. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
cool story now to hear what you got to.
I'm
you are
waiting
now.
for the HBO original movie that's
I'm
going to
telling
come
you,
out of this.
it's coming.
Yeah.
It is gonna
I just
come.
see the scene of reaching into that closet for that guitar and pulling it back out. You don't expect the, oh, fuck, I forgot my guitar part.
Dude,
but-
I didn't expect that. I literally was like, what am I forgetting? Like, I'm like, well, I do have my guitar. I got my keys. Like,
How great would it have been if you just showed up there as the musician and had like no guitar,
I'm
and they're
I'm
like,
just
"What's
gonna-
wrong?"
I'm just going to Bobby McFerrin this shit.
They're gonna be like, how did you forget your guitar? Like, you had one job. Like when people are like, what's wrong with this guy? And you're like, it's acapella. It's gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be a good show.
Like a
I've
little like
changed. Yeah.
pitch pipe. I'm like,
They're like, this
all together, guys.
dude's serious. He's serious about it. Yeah.
I just need to
Yeah, if you guys
clap, please.
2 and 4.
Reggie
Stay on 2 and
Watts,
4. Yeah.
Reggie Watts' comedy routine is just him with a little mixer, and he just records his voice making different sounds and then sings a song to those beats that he just put together.
He
So
stole
it's
it. He
possible.
stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thief. So
But,
you did that. You got through that show. Did that? And
Yeah.
that sparked you back to music.
Yeah, I mean, a few months later, I was just like, okay, like I'm ready, you know. Like I cleared my head, and it was kind of cool. Like I said, just working in that warehouse, because it's such a big warehouse that like you know people are in there, but you don't really see them enough. So I literally just put on like my headphones and just listen to podcasts all day. Like that was literally all I did while putting like, you know, nails and screws and industrial shit on shelves, you know. Yeah, and I just listened to just a bunch of podcasts, you know, and it was just like it rewired my mind, you know, to where it's like, okay, now I get what's wrong with certain, you know, because people think that like music is just about music, and no, it's music business, so it's like it's
Right.
twofold, you know. And I think the thing that artists forget is like, no, like you got to be a business person too, and you got to think with a business mind, you know. And it was funny, like at that night at that little like thing, it was called Cocktails for Creatives, and basically it was just a bunch of creatives and it was just this creative group that was putting it on, and it was crazy. It was the craziest thing. Like, I got off stage, like, made it through my 3 songs, and I got off stage, and this girl just comes up to me. It's like, "Oh, hey, you were so great. Hey, I'm a photographer. Here's my card." And I was like, "What?" You know, and it was like, "Oh, hey, I'm a videographer. Oh, here's my card." And I was just like, "Oh, okay," you know. And I ended up talking to like the owner of the entire group, and he's got like a high rise down in the Gulch. Like, he's a millionaire, you know. And I talked to him as just a normal person, you know. And as we're talking, all these creators are coming up trying to like, "Hey, so and so, this is what I do. Here's my card." And then it just like dawned on me. It was like, businessmen talk to each other on the same plane, you know, but like creatives, they come at it from like a place of wanting something. I'm like doing hand motions on the video.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can see this.
We're into it.
It's a rising slope. Yeah.
It's a rising slope. What Bentley is doing is he is. I was going to just start doing a bunch of stuff.
Bentley is taking his hands, and one is moving up towards the other one. So it's a very fluid motion. We're very excited to watch it.
It's very nice. Thank you.
You do a good job of like adjusting your voice for the bit you're doing, because the way you leaned in and talked there, it seems like
I'm trying to become a host for golf.
oh yeah,
It's very NPR.
it is very
And
important.
welcome back to All Things Considered on
Today I'm
NPR.
putting you to sleep to really important stuff you should know.
So I come in being like, balls, am I right?
Ebb and flow. It's a nice
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So it was just like that. It just kind of like dawned on me, like, man, like we're doing it all wrong, you know. And so when I went back into the studio to record this album, since that's the end game right now,
Right.
it's just like I came back in with like a renewed sense of energy, really, you know, and I was more focused. So like with my first little EP, I was just like, let's do it, you know, and we recorded it in like 2 months, and then it was like I had already like placed a release date, and we weren't even done. And I was like, oh, we gotta get finished. I told people it was gonna come out.
We need to wrap this up. Yeah.
I know, right? And I think we submitted it like a week before it was
Wow.
supposed to come out, and I was just like, Jesus, please, please, Lord, let it come out. But with this one, I mean, we started recording it. And I say we, like it was like, you know, but like we went into the studio and we started recording in June, and we were done tracking in like July.
Dang.
You know, and then it was actually completely finished by like August or September, you know. And I mean, I made a few little changes to it, you know, before I released it, but it was just like, I was very intentional with this one, with the players, with the marketing, you know, like I completely rebranded, you know. And so it was just like, okay, this is going to be a great album, but I can't release it like an indie artist would, you know. Like indie artists tend to do, like, you know, we see it all the times where it's like, oh, you know, I'm on Instagram and I'm going to take a selfie of me in the studio, click, and then they, you know, put it on, and then, you know, a week later they show a video of the music playing through, like, you know, whatever they use to record it. Yeah. And then a week later they release the music. And it's like, why didn't anybody buy my stuff? You know, or why is no one listening? It's like, because you didn't like market it right. You didn't release a single, you didn't do a video, you didn't do anything, and you just, you know. And so that's where I'm, you know, so for me I was like, I'm still an indie artist, but I can release this as if I'm not an indie artist. Right. You know, and so
play the business side of things.
Yeah, and that's the business side.
Be what you want to be.
Yeah.
Thanks. You got Bentley and I just look at you like, all right. Yeah, I was gonna say, here we are again, back to giving examples with your hands. So the song is, I mean, the album's called "The Place I Call Home."